Have you ever wondered why one person just won't leave your mind? You wake up and they're there. You go through your day and somehow they slip back into your thoughts. It feels almost magical, like maybe they're thinking of you too. But here's the truth. Sometimes that's real, and sometimes it's your brain playing a trick on you. I've spent years studying how our minds work in love and attraction, and today I'm going to break this mystery down. Why does someone stay in your head? What does it mean about your feelings and theirs? And most importantly, how can you know if it's love, longing, or just psychology at work? Stay with me, because by the end, you'll see this puzzle more clearly than ever, and maybe discover something new about yourself in the process. So let's dive into the real psychology of why one person keeps looping in your mind. The first reason is emotional intensity. When you share moments filled with strong emotions, whether it's joy, excitement, or even conflict, your brain stamps those memories with extra ink. That's why a single magical date or a heated argument can replay again and again. Emotion makes people unforgettable. Second, it often ties to your attachment style. If you lean toward anxious attachment, your mind clings harder. You replay their words, their pauses, even their silences, searching for hidden meaning. It's not weakness. It's your nervous system's way of seeking safety and connection. Third, there's something called intermittent reinforcement. Picture this. They text you one day, disappear the next, and then suddenly pop back up with warmth. That unpredictability hooks your brain the same way a slot machine does. You never know when the reward is coming, so you keep checking, keep hoping. Fourth, our brains hate unfinished stories. This is the need for closure. If things with this person feel unresolved, maybe you never defined the relationship, or it ended without answers, your mind will keep circling back, desperate to complete the narrative. And finally, there's the trick of cognitive bias. When you want someone to be thinking about you, your brain hunts for evidence. A liked post, a glance, even a song on the radio feels like a sign. This doesn't mean you're imagining everything, but it does mean your mind is biased toward what it hopes to see. All of these forces, emotion, attachment, rewards, unfinished business, and bias, can work together to make one person feel larger than life inside your thoughts. Now let's tackle the big question. Are they really thinking about you? There's no foolproof way to know, but psychology gives us several soft signs, patterns and behaviors that can hint at their attention. Remember, no single sign proves anything. It's the combination and consistency over time that matters. 1. Timely, consistent contact. If they reach out regularly without you always initiating, that's a strong indicator they have you on their mind. It doesn't have to be daily, but patterns matter. Even small gestures, a good morning message, checking in after a meeting, show mental presence. 2. They remember small details. When someone recalls tiny things you mentioned weeks or months ago, a favorite snack, a story from your childhood, or a little dream you shared, it means your words left an impression. Memory like this is more than polite, it's personal attention. 3. They initiate first-person contact. Do they start conversations without prompting? Do they reach out just to share something funny or interesting? Initiating contact signals they're thinking about you enough to act on it, rather than waiting for you to do the work. 4. Social signals that align. This could be likes, reactions, or comments on your social posts that are timely and thoughtful. Even subtle cues, watching your stories shortly after posting, indicate attention. Your brain may notice them more than you realize. 5. Behavioral mirroring. When you meet in person, notice if they unconsciously mirror your gestures, posture, or tone of voice. This kind of mirroring is a subconscious way humans connect and pay attention. often signaling emotional engagement. 6. Emotional attunement. Someone who checks on you when you're down, notices when you're happy, or reacts to your moods without being prompted is demonstrating subtle awareness. They're mentally tracking your emotional state, which usually means you're in their thoughts. 7. Hints through mutual friends. Sometimes friends notice things before we do. They might mention your name in conversations or hint that the person talks about you. While indirect, these glimpses can reveal that you're present in their mind more than you realize. Keep in mind, none of these alone guarantees they're thinking about you, but together they form a pattern. Look for consistency, not isolated moments, and always consider the context. Psychology shows us that behavior and attention reveal more than words alone. Sometimes it feels so real, like you can almost sense them thinking about you. But before you assume, it's worth knowing that your own mind can create this feeling. Here's why. First, there's projection and wishful thinking. When you're thinking about someone intensely, your brain naturally assumes they must be thinking about you too. It's a kind of mental echo, your own focus bouncing back at you. This is comforting, but it's not proof. Second, selective attention. Once you've attached meaning to a person, you start noticing every little thing connected to them. A random song on the radio, a post on social media, a passing mention of their name. Your mind flags it as significant. This makes it seem like the universe is sending signs, when really it's your brain filtering for what it wants to see. Third, mirror thinking. Humans tend to believe others think and feel the way they do. If you can't stop thinking about them, it feels logical to assume they can't stop thinking about you either. This mental shortcut often leads to false certainty. Fourth, the pull of emotional memory. When someone leaves a strong emotional imprint, your brain reactivates those circuits easily. That's why you can feel a presence, even when they're nowhere near you. Your mind replays the emotional sensation as though it's happening now. And finally, emotional contagion through digital cues. Seeing them online, watching a story, or getting a tiny notification from them can send your brain into overdrive. One small cue can feel like evidence of a deeper connection, even if it's just coincidence. These are normal, built-in tricks of the human mind. They don't mean you're imagining everything. They mean your brain is trying to make sense of uncertainty. Understanding this helps you step back, breathe, and question the story your thoughts are telling you before you decide it's true. If you're wondering whether someone truly thinks about you, there are ways to explore it gently, without pressure, manipulation, or drama. Think of these as small experiments you run to observe patterns, not to force outcomes. 1. Small, neutral outreach. Send a casual message, maybe a funny meme, or a short, friendly, "Hey, how's your day?" and see how they respond. Their reaction can reveal whether you're on their mind enough to engage voluntarily. 2. Pause and observe. Give yourself a short break from initiating contact, 48 to 72 hours. Notice if they reach out during that time. Patterns over several days are far more telling than a single occurrence. 3. Ask one open question. When appropriate, try a low-pressure, honest question like, "Hey, I was thinking about you. How have you been?" This invites communication without demanding commitment. It's direct but gentle. 4. Mutual friend insights. Sometimes friends notice subtleties you might miss. A casual question like, "Have they mentioned me recently?" can provide additional perspective. Just make sure it's done respectfully, without prying too much. 5. Watch their attentiveness in real life. When you meet them, notice if they genuinely listen, remember small details, or show interest in your moods. This in-person attention is often more revealing than online cues. These tests aren't about creating proof or pushing someone into action. They're about observing consistent behavior patterns. By doing them mindfully, you can gain clarity while staying respectful of boundaries and protecting your emotional well-being. Remember, the goal isn't to trap someone into proving they think about you. It's to gather honest information so your mind can relax and you can make conscious choices instead of getting lost in endless what-ifs. When someone stays in your head, it can feel exhausting, like your thoughts have a life of their own. The good news is, there are practical strategies you can use to regain control and find peace. Here are 8 methods that really work. 1. Name the thought. When you catch yourself ruminating, label it. This is a thought about them. Naming it creates distance and reminds your brain it's just a thought, not a fact. 2. Journaling with evidence. Write down what makes you think they're thinking of you, and then write evidence that suggests otherwise. Seeing both sides on paper helps your mind balance hope and reality. 3. Delay technique. Set aside a specific 15 to 20-minute window to think about them. Outside of that window, gently remind yourself, I'll revisit this later. This trains your brain to stop running on autopilot. 4. Behavioral activation. Engage in meaningful activities that absorb your attention. Exercise, cooking, learning a skill. Action shifts focus away from mental loops and releases feel-good chemicals in your brain. 5. Digital hygiene. Mute notifications, hide their stories temporarily, or take social media breaks. Reducing triggers prevents constant reminders that fuel overthinking. 6. Direct communication when ready. If clarity matters, send a calm, non-demanding message to express your feelings or ask a question. Approaching communication with honesty and respect reduces uncertainty. 7. Mindfulness and grounding exercises. Practice short breathing exercises, body scans, or even noticing the environment around you. Mindfulness anchors you in the present and stops your thoughts from spiraling. 8. Seek professional support when needed. If overthinking becomes intrusive or starts affecting your daily life, a therapist can help with cognitive strategies to restructure thinking patterns, manage anxiety, and navigate relationships healthily. By combining these strategies, you can reclaim your mental space and reduce the constant pull of someone else's presence in your mind. It's not about ignoring your feelings. It's about managing them so they don't control you. Here's the truth. Sometimes the person is thinking about you, and sometimes it's your mind filling in the gaps. Both are human and both are okay. What really matters is not guessing endlessly. It's choosing how you respond, how you care for yourself, and how you decide what deserves your mental energy. Remember, clarity comes not from overanalyzing, but from observation, honesty, and conscious choice. By understanding why someone lingers in your thoughts and using the strategies we've discussed, you can reclaim your peace without losing your heart. If this video helped you understand your thoughts and emotions better, hit the like button, subscribe for more psychology insights, and share your experience in the comments. I'd love to hear what's one subtle sign you've noticed when someone is on your mind. And if you want a follow-up, I can show you exactly how to open honest conversations without pressure, so you can find clarity and connection at the same time.